my channel. Welcome back to another video. I'm Jessie and you're watching. Welcome to my first TBR of 2021, and this is a TBR that I know a lot of y'all are really excited about because it is the first official TBR that I will be doing with my completed deck of TBR cards. Those of you who followed my channel throughout 2020 know that this was a project that I conceptualized and announced in January of 2020, and it basically took literally a full year in order to bring these cards into fruition. This is a deck of cards that I created to help me read more inclusively on my channel while also keeping reading fun. Each card has original artwork by the amazing artist Olivia Simone, who is known as Livy for Books. She is wonderful. And the reading prompts are those that I came up with myself. The prompts can take one or two forms. The first is a diversity prompt, a prompt encouraging you to pick up a book by a specific type of marginalized author, or it can be something like read a book where the main character is a talking animal, like something like that, something kind of wacky and creative. And it's just basically my way of keeping it fun and exciting on my channel. Now, these cards are available for sale in my Etsy shop for those of you who are interested. My Etsy shop is currently on pause, but it will be opening back up by the end of this month or early February. I'm just really excited to finally be doing an actual TBR with these cards. Now, for those of you who watched my December TBR, I set out to find my new favorite book of 2020. And I was like, no matter what happens, I just lost an earring. And I said no matter what happened, I was going to be sure to finish all of those books on my TBR. Then my abuela was diagnosed with COVID-19 and unfortunately lost her battle with COVID. So I ended up reading very little in December because for that reason. And so I didn't get to finish, I only finished one or two books from that TBR, although I did start a bunch of the other books. I just wasn't able to focus on reading given that my abuela was in the ICU for 2 weeks before she eventually succumbed to COVID. And so it was just a really stressful and terrifying month overall. So the reason I bring this up is because all of those books are still on my January TBR. So if you want to see what those 11 books are, I will leave my December TBR in the description box of this video. Those books are all in my TBR still. I am absolutely committed to reading those books. I really want to read them. I have a bunch of vlogs planned surrounding those books and I'm still working on those vlogs. So all of that is still happening. And because of that, I'm only going to be pulling 3 cards from this deck. I was thinking of not playing Jessie's deck of TBR at all this month, but I really wanted to do an official TBR with my TBR cards this month. So I'm going to be kind of shuffling poorly, as we all know I'm really bad at shuffling. And then I'm just going to be pulling 3 cards at random. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody who has supported these cards. I've loved seeing your reactions and hearing your thoughts. It's just been really beautiful to see y'all enjoying these cards. So I'm going to be pulling 3 of these cards. I'm so freaking excited and like strangely nervous. Okay, so I'm gonna pull, okay, all right, ma'am, get it together. Oh God, man down. Okay, so we're just gonna put these 2 aside because of my ridiculously little paws. And then I'm gonna pull, okay, rude, let's pull, okay, let's pull this dudette, shall we? All right, we're gonna put those here and let's see. So these are the 3 cards that I've pulled, but I'm not going to be peeking yet. The first card that I have here is the Toni Morrison card, literary fiction or nonfiction by a deceased BIPOC author. So my literature shelf is over here and my nonfiction shelf is over here. I'm going to peruse the shelves and I will come back with a book that matches this prompt. Woo! I am so excited about this book because I've been wanting to read it pretty much since I got on BookTube, and that is Passing by Nella Larson. Now, my interest in this book was reinvigorated after reading The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett, of which the premise is incredibly similar to this one, and I just loved The Vanishing Half so much. This is a classic by a Black author, and in this book we are following a woman named Claire Kennedy, who is an attractive, light-skinned woman that is married to a racist white man who has no idea of her Black heritage. Her husband has no idea that his wife is actually Black. She has worked really hard to distance herself from her Blackness, from her upbringing, and to assimilate into society as a white woman. And all of that gets jeopardized when one day she encounters an old childhood friend named Irene, who is just as light-skinned but chose to remain part of the Black community and is completely repulsed by Claire's decision. But these two women find that they are unable to stay away from one another, and so this is a homoerotic classic about two women grappling with their racial identity in the classic setting of New York City. I am so excited for this, and it's only about 120 pages, so I definitely am going to be able to finish it. Right, so 2 more cards. I'm going to go with this one. This is the La Frontera card, centering an undocumented person or immigration. I am very excited about the theme of these cards so far. Centering an undocumented person or immigration. So I'm looking at, this is perfect. Okay, good. So I wasn't sure if this book met the criteria, but it most definitely does. And the book that I'm choosing for this is none other than Sanctuary, which is by Paula Mendoza and Abby Sher. This is a book that I've been dying to read. Literally dying. I love that it is set in near future America. It is set in 2032. Every single American citizen is chipped and tracked wherever they go.
Which, to be honest, is not that far from where we are in America right now.
Okay, moving on. We are following a 16-year-old girl named Vali, whose life is turned upside down when her mother's chip is discovered as fraudulent and her family is forced to go on the run. So throughout the course of this novel, Vali and her family are racing to get to California, which is a sanctuary state, so that she can be with her tia. But herself, her younger brother, and her parents both face incredible dangers throughout this journey. And so this is a book, a young adult book, that is looking at the struggles of immigrant life and the anti-immigrant sentiment that exists within America. I am so freaking excited about this book. I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk about it though. I just can't wait to see what my thoughts are. Oh, and the back of this is just drawing me in. I live a lie that made me skittish when I heard sirens or got assigned a project in school that involved personal family narratives. A lie that thrived off all of my fear. For me, the lie started when we left Colombia. Oh, I'm so excited for this book. All right, and the last card that I have drawn is the throwback card. Read a book that was written prior to 2000. I feel like all of those cards have such a nice theme about them. Prior to 2000. Okay, so none of this prior to 2000s. Okay, all right, I have the perfect book. Please do not cancel me, okay? This book was probably on 2 or 3 of my TBRs in 2020, and I promise I'm going to actually read it this time. This is a piece of sapphic, lesbian, queer, Black vampire fiction. I am so freaking excited, and I believe this was published in 1991. It recently just hit its 25th anniversary edition. This is the 25th anniversary edition, so I'm really, really excited to be reading it. Set in 1850s Louisiana, our protagonist Gilda learns about freedom while working in a brothel. After being initiated into eternal life, she spends the next 200 years searching for a place to call home. I have heard that this book is just so sensual and erotic and paranormal, and I'm so excited to finally be reading this amazing, amazing classic. I will do my best to film a Black Girl Magic vlog for this reading experience. I am so freaking excited, and just look at this amazing cover. Okay, so let us quickly recap. For the Toni Morrison card, literary fiction or nonfiction by a deceased BIPOC author, I have chosen Passing by none other than Nella Larson. For the La Frontera card, read a book centering an undocumented person or immigration, I have chosen Sanctuary by Paula Mendoza and Abby Sher. And finally, for the throwback card, read a book that was written prior to the year 2000, I have chosen The Gilda Stories by Jewel Gomez. I am so freaking excited about these reads. If you want to see the other books that I'm going to be reading for this month, then check out my December 2020 TBR. I will leave that link down below as well. And I'm also not going to be posting a wrap up for December just because I only read 2 or 3 books. I think only 2 books, to be honest. And it's just I'm not gonna make y'all sit through a 3-minute wrap up. I'm just not gonna do that to you. So that is going to do it for this video. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would absolutely love it if you became a part of my bookish family. All of my social media links are in the description box below. Stay safe, wear your mask, and I can't wait to see you in my next video.